So today I'm going to teach you the 6 things that you should never say to a cash buyer. This is Todd Toback, and if you're looking to do big, fat, juicy wholesale deals and have a wildly profitable wholesale business while keeping a ton of your free time in check, this is the right place. I've got a gift for you. Head on over to nextlevelwholesaling.com, and there I have the Next Level Wholesaling Assessment. And this will take you about 5-10 minutes. Super easy, totally free. And really, it's going to tell you where you are at in your business, and it's going to become abundantly clear on the very next step that you need to take to really propel your wholesale business to that next phase, one where you're making a lot of money and have a lot of free time, where your business is serving you. So go to nextlevelwholesaling.com. All right, so let's talk about the 6 things that you should never say to a cash buyer. First of all, I'm going to set the stage. Your cash buyers should be competing for your deals at all times. This is not a friend's business. We should be known as honest, truthful, upfront, and a finder of great deals. People should know you as someone as what they see is what they get. You should not be known as a pushover. You will get more respect in the former. Okay? If you're making $50,000, $100,000 a deal and your buyers find out about it, they will respect you more when you operate like a business person than a little brother. And I see far, far too many wholesalers acting like a little sister or a little brother to Mr. Big Bad Cash Buyer. It's got to stop. Todd Toback is going to be the ender of this epidemic after today's show. So, if you're guilty of one of these 6 things, that's okay. All right? I forgive you. I want to help you. And we're going to turn this around. And I tell you what, once you learn this, I'd like to see you add an additional $30,000 to $50,000 on top to your next wholesale deal. So, first thing that you should never say to a cash buyer is, I'll take less. I'll take less. Right? I see so many people, they'll give a price to a cash buyer, and all of a sudden the cash buyer starts squeaming and squirming and, making these facial expressions and hemming and hawing about the price. And all of a sudden, before the cash buyer even gets a word out of their mouth, Mr. or Mrs. Wholesaler says, I'll take less. Oh, kill me. Because you just killed your profit. Okay? And so let's resuscitate this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it back. Put the paddles on, clear. I'm gonna try to get some of that profit back, okay? So, don't do that. Next time you give a price to a cash buyer, if you happen to have a one-off conversation with somebody, which I would not like to see you do, but just listen. If you give a price, let someone come out and tell you what they're willing to pay. Zip it. Number 2, you're the only one who wants this. Ugh, gut punch. Now, a lot of people, they have developed a friendship with their cash buyers. And so what they do is they tell them everything. This is the only person that's interested in this property. This one's been tough to sell. There's no point. Your cash buyer is not going to buy a property to help you out. They're going to buy a property to put more money in their pocket. And their relationship with you, almost always, is they're looking at you as the inferior. Now, it shouldn't be that way. If you do what I'm telling you, you'll be looked at as a professional. And so do not tell people that someone's the only one who wants this. Just keep your mouth quiet. Give them the property, give them the deal, give them the details. Either they want it or they don't. Number 3, I got to close quick, right? I, meaning you, the person who locked up the deal directly with the seller. Don't share that information. Now, your buyers should have a tight deadline with you. So instead of saying, I got to close this deal quick with a seller, I need you to close in 5 days, you don't want to do that, because now you're putting yourself at a disadvantage with your buyer who knows that you got to close quick. And so now they're going to want to be paid for giving you some speed and convenience. And that's reserved for motivated sellers. So how would I rephrase that? I would say, listen, the buyer on this needs to close on 10/15/2023, 7 days from today. And they'll say, well, what's the term on the underlying contract? Irrelevant. Your date is 7 days from now. Can you do that? Yes, I can do that. You see how I control that? I laid out the terms. Either it's a yes or a no. Next, you don't have to put an EMD. Now, I see a lot of people get really close with their cash buyers and they're like, oh, this person closes. They don't need to put in their EMD. Look, you want to keep a consistent process, right? You don't want to play favorites between your buyers. You don't want to see people get too comfortable. I got to tell you, there was one buyer, I don't know, this was 6 or 7 years ago, and they always bought the property, never didn't close. And we started getting lazy about collecting EMD. And then all of a sudden, one day, guess what? The buyer did not close, canceled on the day of closing. And we're like, oh, okay, well, at least we have the EMD. And guess what? We didn't collect it. We got lazy. Tell me they weren't committed to the deal. So collect EMD on every single deal. Next thing that you should not do is convince your buyers this is a really good deal, right? If you see them hemming and hawing and you're like, hey, this is a really, really good deal, and here is why, you are on a slippery slope. Now, that does not mean that you should not point out the features and the benefits of a deal. I like to do that. I have my team do that in an email, or if you're listing on the MLS, list it on the MLS, right? So for example, our team did a little deal and it's a duplex. It doesn't show that on the tax record, so we put that on there. You also can build an ADU, right? Another unit on the property. It's on a fantastic location. It's got a huge hot yard. It's got a wonderful view. So all of that is there. The property also happens to be in fairly good condition, so we put pictures on the property, and they know that. We did put the after repair value, and so all the features and benefits are there. But once the buyer sees that, and they're at the property, and they're him and hawing, trying to negotiate with the deal, do not try to convince them. You want to use competition to have them be convinced it's a good deal. So I never like to have one buyer at a property. I like to have several, create a little feeding frenzy, little chaos. If you're not scared the seller is worried about, like, who are all these people, or you're not worried about losing the deal because of all the people that are there, you don't have enough people there. So go ahead, create competition, and you don't need to convince your buyer that you have a good deal, because your buyers are going to be there. Now, the last one is I'll give you a discount because we do business a lot. This one's a killer of many wholesalers. They get really, really lazy and love dealing with one buyer. And I got to tell you that that buyer gets very, very wise to their deals. And slowly over time, you will see that they are crunching your margins. You get comfortable, you tell them too much, or they see you made too much on a deal, and they're going to start to come down. And that's really, really unhealthy, because their business is going to have fluctuations. They may have a lot of properties, or maybe they lost money on one, or maybe they're worried about their market. And so their biases is going to start to affect of what they pay. You got to create competition right now. There are a lot of people who are willing to flip a house and make $15,000 or $20,000. I want to sell to those people versus the people who need to make $40,000 or $50,000 on a house. And that's where you can offer value. All right, I'm going to review. Number one, I'll take less. Never say that. Just be quiet. Number two, you're the only one who wants this. Again, don't say a word. Give them the details of the property and zip it. Three, I got to close quick. They don't need to know that. You just need to give them a deadline to close. Four, you don't have to put an EMD. What are you, crazy? Get that money. This is a really good deal, okay? Put the information in an email, send it out to a text, tell them once, but have the competition tell them, right? Have the people coming in and out, put a little fear of God into them that they're going to lose the deal, and you don't have to worry about telling them jack. And lastly, I'll give you a discount because we do business a lot. That one's the killer of all wholesale businesses. Look, a good buyer's list can mean an extra $20, $30, $40, even $50,000 on one deal. Take advantage of that. Your hard-earned marketing dollars are spent. Your time is spent locking up the deal. Squeeze that lemon. Squeeze it, get all the juice out so that you can maximize the deal on each profit. Don't forget, on each deal. Don't forget to head over to nextlevelwholesaling.com. Download the assessment. Let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. Let me know at Todd Toback where you need to take your business on that next step, and I will talk to you on the next episode.